Before this story begins, I need to warn you, it is about a night when I discovered something moving in my apartment while I was asleep. Not people. Not animals. Something else. I woke to a faint rustling, barely audible. My eyes remained closed at first, I didn't want to see. Heart raced. Mind screamed logic. Buildings creak. Air shifts. That happens. But the sound persisted. Soft, deliberate. Coming from the corner of my room. I strained to hear, breath shallow. The blankets felt heavier than usual, as if pressing down on me. I froze. My mind tried to rationalize. Mattress settling. Air conditioning. Imagination. That happens. But the rustling continued, like tiny footsteps pacing. I opened my eyes slowly. Darkness. Shadows everywhere. Furniture normal. Door locked. Safety mattered. Boundaries mattered. Yet something had moved. Something that shouldn't exist. My pulse quickened. My stomach tightened. I wanted to move, run, escape. But fear rooted me to the bed. The rustling stopped. Silence. Perfect silence. I exhaled slowly, trying to calm down. In. Out. In. Out. Good. Safe. That's what logic tells you. But then I noticed it, the blanket had shifted. Slightly. As if someone had been sitting on the edge. Impossible. I had been alone. Or at least I thought so. Evidence remained. I swallowed hard. Something had been here. Watching. Waiting. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I sat up slowly, scanning the room. Everything looked ordinary: chair, desk, window, door. No movement. No sign of intrusion. Good. That meant nothing was wrong. I told myself it was imagination. Nighttime tricks. Sleep deprivation. That happens. But the blanket still felt off, slightly disarranged. The edge folded in a way I didn't remember. I touched it. Cold. Not unusual for fabric, but it felt recent, as if someone had handled it. My stomach dropped. No. Impossible. I live alone. No visitors. No roommates. Just me. I checked the door. Locked. Secure. Good. That meant safety. Boundaries. I double-checked. Still locked. Relief washed over me briefly. See? Nothing. My mind playing games. That happens. I laughed softly, nervous. Stupid. I was letting fear control me. I stood up, stretching, trying to relax. The rustling sound had stopped. Good. Over. I convinced myself it was nothing. Buildings creak. Objects shift. Humans misinterpret noises. That happens. I paced the room, focusing on normal things, the clock ticking, the faint hum of electronics. Ordinary sounds. Safe sounds. But then I noticed something on the floor. A small mark. Damp. Dark. A footprint. My breath caught. Not large. Small. Barely noticeable. But fresh. I knelt, touching it. Cold. Real. Evidence. My hands trembled. Someone had been here. Inside. While I slept. Impossible. The door remained locked. No forced entry. Yet proof existed. I backed away, heart racing. This couldn't be real. But it was. Something had entered. And I didn't know if it was still here. Watching. Waiting. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I stared at the footprint, trying to convince myself it was nothing. Water. Dirt. Something I tracked in earlier and forgot. That happens. Small mistakes. Human memory is unreliable. But the mark looked fresh, damp, dark, unmistakable. My stomach tightened. Someone had been here. Inside. While I slept. I looked around, scanning every corner. Everything appeared normal, furniture in place, door locked, no signs of forced entry. Yet evidence remained. I swallowed hard. No. Impossible. Doors don't open themselves. Apartments don't allow strangers inside. I double-checked the lock. Solid. Secure. Good. Safety. Boundaries. I exhaled, forcing logic. It was nothing. Night paranoia. Sleep deprivation. That happens. But deep down I didn't believe it. The air still felt heavy, like it remembered something. I paced the room, thinking. Maintenance? No. They notify residents. Neighbors? Impossible. I would have heard the door. I always notice sounds at night. That's how spaces work, small creaks, familiar rhythms. This was different. Quiet. Deliberate. I stopped near the window, staring outside. Darkness. The city slept. No movement. No lights. Just stillness. That felt wrong. Cities breathe. They hum. This one didn't. I shivered. Something was off. Deeply off. I turned back to the room. The footprint remained. I stared at it, heart racing. This wasn't imagination. It never was. Something had visited while I slept. And I didn't know if it would return. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I backed away from the footprint, trying to breathe. Logic. Reason. It was nothing. Water. Dirt. A mistake. That happens. But the mark remained, fresh and undeniable. My mind searched for explanations. Maintenance? No. They notify residents. Neighbors? Impossible. The door had been locked. I remembered turning the key. I always do. Safety matters. Boundaries matter. Yet evidence existed. Someone had been inside. I glanced at the door again. Locked. Good. Secure. No forced entry. But that didn't erase the feeling of presence, quiet, patient, watching. I shivered. The room seemed colder. Not dramatically, but enough to notice. My breath faintly visible in the dim light. Impossible. It wasn't that cold. I touched my arms, rubbing them. Goosebumps. Fear? Perhaps. That happens. The human body reacts to stress. I tried to laugh. Nervous. Forced. It's nothing. I told myself to calm down. In. Out. In. Out. Breathe. It helped slightly. My heartbeat slowed. Good. Logic returning. I scanned the room once more. Everything appeared normal, furniture in place, blankets slightly disturbed, footprint on the floor. Evidence. I swallowed hard. No. It must be imagination. Stress. Sleep deprivation. That happens. But deep down I knew I was lying. Something had visited. And I didn't know if it would return. The night no longer felt safe. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I sat on the bed, trying to steady myself. The footprint remained on the floor, small and damp. Evidence. I told myself it was nothing. Water. Dirt. A mistake. That happens. But my stomach still twisted. Someone had been inside. I stared at the door, double-checking the lock. Secure. Good. No entry. No danger. Logic. Reason. Yet the feeling persisted, being watched, quietly observed. I shook my head. Paranoia. Nighttime anxiety. That happens. The human mind invents threats when it feels unsafe. I breathed slowly. In. Out. In. Out. It helped slightly. My heartbeat slowed. Good. I could think. I scanned the room again. Everything appeared normal, furniture in place, blanket slightly shifted, footprint on the floor. Evidence. But not proof of anything supernatural. Perhaps I had tracked it in earlier and forgotten. Memory is flawed. That happens. I laughed softly, nervous. See? Explanation. No reason to panic. I stood up, walking toward the window. Outside, the city remained quiet. No distant sounds, no lights moving. Just darkness. That felt strange. Cities usually hum with life. This one didn't. I shivered. Something was off. Deeply off. I turned back to the room. The footprint remained. I stared at it, heart racing. This wasn't imagination. It never was. Someone had visited. And I didn't know if they were gone. The night felt heavier, like it remembered something. I realized I would not sleep easily. But I had to try. Morning would come. Sunlight would make things ordinary again. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I lay back on the bed, staring at the ceiling. The footprint, the strange feeling, the silence, it all lingered. I told myself it would pass. Nighttime tricks. Human imagination. That happens. But my body remained tense, refusing to relax. The room felt different, heavier, quieter, as if waiting. I closed my eyes briefly, hoping sleep would come. It didn't. Every small sound made me flinch, the ticking clock, the faint creak of furniture, the hum of electronics. Ordinary noises. Safe noises. Yet they felt amplified, unnatural. I opened my eyes again. Darkness. The same room. Nothing moved. Good. Logic. I exhaled slowly. In. Out. In. Out. It helped slightly. My heartbeat steadied. I told myself I was fine. No intruder. No threat. Just stress. But deep down I still felt it, the presence. Quiet. Patient. Watching. I turned my head toward the door. Locked. Secure. No sign of entry. Good. That meant safety. Boundaries. I repeated it in my mind. Safe. Nothing here. That happens. But the footprint remained on the floor, small and damp. Evidence. I stared at it one last time. My hands trembled slightly. Someone had been here. I didn't know how. I didn't know why. But I knew the truth, my apartment no longer felt safe. The night had changed. I had changed. And I didn't know if I would ever feel completely alone again. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you.